friends, and welcome back to another video. My name is Kylie and I am the artist of this channel, and today we are going to be filling the final page of my sketchbook, well, final spread. I will go ahead and say that I'm not completely done with this sketchbook. I have like all those little tabs there are pages that are half finished that I do plan on going back and completing before I do a sketchbook tour, but this is the final spread, full spread of the sketchbook. So I really have been into flowers recently. I'm not really sure why, but I've been very interested in drawing flowers. And of course, as if you've watched any video on my channel, I love drawing faces. That's my favorite thing to draw. So I did try to include a self-portrait in this. It's not my favorite I've ever done, but I'm not like super upset about it or anything. It's pretty decent. Um, I just I think somewhere in the painting process, the face kind of went sideways a little bit. Otherwise, though, I love this concept and I love the overall composition, especially of the flowers. I think they end up looking really good. Um, I will erase these leaves. I don't end up going that route. And I'm glad I didn't because, like I said, I really love the composition of what I end up with. So just keep watching, you'll see. So the two things I wish I could change are the way the face ends up looking in the end and the background. My choice in background color was like, I had two different ideas, and the one I went with, I wish I would have gone with the other one, but I don't know if I would have liked the other one anyways, so I was kind of just in my head a little bit about this, and I think part of it is doing stuff while being filmed, or like having to be aware of the fact that the camera is above my head, so I cannot like get close to my drawing like I normally do. I feel like that, along with just the pressure of the fact that I am creating for a video specifically, is like kind of a brain block maybe, to where I just am not creating to my fullest potential when I'm filming. So often, like these videos that I put out for you guys, I I do love the art most of the time, but sometimes I'm like, I could have done that so much better if I wasn't under the time constraint of it being a YouTube video and the pressure of it being a YouTube video and literally meant it's being created to be watched. So as someone with really bad social anxiety and like constant awareness of how I am perceived, it is very difficult to film these videos sometimes, especially something like this where I'm drawing a face and I'm doing this like two spread composition. This is something I would prefer to do on my own. But I also want to make videos of the things I like to do for you guys. So we're still in a learning curve, I feel like. I've talked about this in a couple other videos, but learning how to be myself and film my process as an artist for YouTube is just, it's interesting. And I'm sure other YouTube artists have their own thoughts as well and possibly similar thoughts. So I know I'm not alone. I just wanted to let you guys know I do like this spread. I just have that feeling that I could have done a little bit better without having a camera on me the whole time, but it's okay. For this sketchbook spread, we're almost done with the sketch. I'm gonna draw another flower and the vine, or the stem of the flower, and then we will get into the painting. So this is a art creation or art creations sketchbook. It's a very popular one. I believe that's the name of it. And I do enjoy this sketchbook for sketching, colored pencil drawing, which I do a lot, especially recently, and pen is usually okay. Specifically, I use Prismacolor fine liners. Those do pretty good in this sketchbook. I would say any kind of wet media doesn't do that great. probably acrylic paint might do okay, but like watercolor gouache, no, not really. I haven't used alcohol markers in this one, but I have a feeling that alcohol markers would probably not do as well in this one either. So just with that being said, I do this spread in watercolor because I don't know. I guess I forgot how terrible the sketchbook does with watercolor. So I actually kind of like this composition. I wish I wouldn't have changed it, honestly. But I do change it. Anyways, so I used watercolor and then I went in with some gouache, colored pencils, acrylic markers, and that's it. So this is more of like a mixed media piece with just like a base of watercolor. I find that watercolor is the easiest to get like a good underneath before layering on a bunch of different colors and textures, which I do in this. I'm doing a lot of texture. That was my goal, was to do a bunch of fun like lines and overlapping colors, and that's why I wanted to do mixed media. But I need to do some more research on artists that do these like really textured and heavily, I can't think of a good word for it, like heavily rendered, I guess, where there's lots of lines and lots to look at. Very busy, more maximalistic artwork. That's not usually something I do. So I don't feel like I execute it as well as other people do. So I do want to do a little bit of research and kind of see how other artists do it so I can try again. Because like I said, I do really love this concept, and especially the flowers specifically. That's what I love the most. I really love the stem design. I'm sure other people have done stuff like this, and I mean, oh well. I just really like it personally. I think it's fun. And I love green, so that's also a plus. But we're starting with the watercolor. This side of the spread did okay because this paper is glued down. This is like the very, very back of the book. So this is glued straight down to the cover. So this side did good with the watercolors. It obviously can't buckle because the page is completely glued down. So I think that's nice. But then you have the other side where the paper is buckling as I'm going about painting this, and especially this areas where I use a bit more water. So, and you can really tell a difference. I didn't think it would be that noticeable, and it's kind of really noticeable. So that was something interesting that I was like, huh. Buckling, even though you don't think of it as like ruining the art necessarily, I feel like it kind of loses, I don't know, it doesn't look as good for sure when the paper buckles versus when it doesn't. But that was a total side note. I'm gonna let you guys watch for a little bit and I will be back in a few. Hello, I am back. So we are working on using my watercolors to just add a little shading to the face. I didn't want to go too crazy, specifically because the paper was warping pretty bad, especially on the face. So I just did like a light skin color overall and then a few shadows and left it at that. And I do go in and add a bit more shading and some like blush and stuff when I go in with colored pencils later, and it brings it a little bit more to life. This is what I mean though when I said that I feel like the face kind of like slowly went off the rails because I don't really know exactly where I messed up. I just know that like looking at this, I don't think it looks that good. Um, I know I can do better, especially I've done watercolor portraits before and I've done some really nice watercolor portraits. So I'm a little bummed that the face didn't turn out how I wanted it to, but it's really okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a sketchbook spread at the end of the day. Um, yeah, that's all it is. I'm sorry about the lighting change. That was weird. Huh. That must have just been the sun, maybe? Yeah, I guess so. But now I'm going in with my RTX or Artix, I think it's Artix, acrylic markers, and just covering in the background. I really wanted to do like a really deep teal, but I didn't want to continue to paint because the page was warping, and I also didn't have a darker teal in this marker set, so this is kind of where we're at. Color wise, I think it's nice ish. It's just a lighter color so you can see all the marker streaks, which kind of sucks, but it's really okay. It's once again not that big of a deal. I need to relax. It's just a sketchbook. So, yeah, and I time lapsed it because it was very satisfying to watch. Okay, I'm back again, and we are now on to our colored pencils. I'm just going through and adding these little lines. I've been weirdly obsessed with adding these little lines to my art recently. It's like just a fun texture to draw, I guess. It adds just like a little pop of interest, especially when it's a bolder color. So that's why I'm doing that. And then you can't really tell on the camera for some reason, but I'm doing it to the background as well. And in real life, it is much more noticeable on the background, but for some reason you like can barely tell in the camera. So just, I did do some texture in the background. You just can't really see it for some reason. And then I was going to outline everything in this like kind of yellow white marker, and I didn't like the way it was going. So then I just went in with a white colored pencil and I just added some white texture in places that I thought it would look nice. And I do like the way that that ends up turning out, and I like the border around my face. I just can't get over it. It doesn't look like me or anything. It's so bad. But I think it's the eyebrows. I don't know. Anyways, I did that for the outline, and then I went back in with that yellow marker and added these little dots. I've also been obsessed with these little dots as well. I just think I've been obsessed with like adding that little pizzazz to my work, if that makes sense. Like just a little extra sprinkle of something to add a bit more interest. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, we are officially done with the spread and done with the sketchbook. So stay tuned. A sketchbook tour is coming, and make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you are notified when I do post that. But I will catch you guys next week. Bye, friends.